Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special day of racing on the channel. As always, I'm Keegan Schneider. We're here for the NASCAR Thunder 2004, race number 23 of 36 on the season. We're at the Michigan International Speedway for the Michigan 400, second time we have gone here this season. Our driver, Terry Labonte, DNF'd in this very race earlier in the year. We'll see if he can get to the end, and not only that, he qualified on the pole once again this season. Trying to come from behind after back-to-back DNF finishes, a tough race and a tough go yesterday at Watkins Glen in a race that mind you, we should not have DNF'd in. We very lightly grazed the wall in turn 6 and it DNF'd us for some reason. Now, regardless of that, Labonte's in a hole, over 300 points back now, but still 14 races to go. It's not impossible to come back, knowing that you can get 185 points in a full race if you can lead the most laps and win the race, and Labonte starting on the pole today might be able to do that. It's a very special day because we have not one, but two races, a double header on the channel today for NASCAR Thunder 04. We have not done one of these for Thunder 04, at least with running two full races in one day. Obviously, we'd have to get to the end of both of them, but we'll see if we can do it today. We're running at Michigan, and then later on today, we are running at Bristol for the Sharpie 500, the Bristol night race. Start time for that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But this one we're about to get underway. Take it through today's key points of emphasis and the starting lineup following that. So enjoy today's race for the Michigan 400. Ashton G, R6R6, welcome to the stream, guys.
Welcome everyone to Michigan International Speedway for our coverage of the Michigan 400. Michigan always produces some great racing. What do you think, Barney?
Well, look for speeds approaching 200 miles an hour and cars running 3 and 4 wide. That's a recipe for some exciting stuff.
Terry Labonte has really focused in on his qualifying runs this year.
Yeah, but don't forget, Joe, it takes a lot of people working together to get that car starting in the top 10 every week.
Kenny Wallace is towards the bottom of the points list this season.
Yeah, those guys have been working so hard this year. It's a shame it doesn't really show in points. Just seems they can't keep that car out of trouble on race day. Maybe their luck will change today.
Stanton Barrett hasn't had a good start to the weekend.
You're right, it's going to be tough for him. You get so used to starting up front, and then you have an off week and you have to start towards the back. Then when race day comes, you feel like you passed 1,000 cars at the end. And worse yet, sometimes you never make it to the front.
All 43 cars rolling up onto the racetrack. We'll take you through today's starting lineup for the Michigan 400. Starting off at the front row, it'll be Terry Labonte on the pole for now what is the 7th time this season. Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man, qualifying on the front row. We're used to seeing that, especially early in his career. Newman, 3 straight top 10s, 2 top 2 finishes in that 3-race stretch. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mark Martin will be in row 2. Jr. comes in as the points leader. Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth will be in row number 3. Couple of Roush Fenway cars there, 3 of which starting in the top 6. In row number 4, it'll be Elliott Sadler and Bobby Labonte. Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett will be in row number 5. Dale Jarrett got the win at Watkins Glen yesterday. In row number 6, it'll be Hermie Sadler and Kevin Harvick. Harvick also had a pretty solid run in a top 10 day at Watkins Glen last night. In row number 7, it'll be Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton. Gordon qualified second in that race, finished third. Gordon had a pretty solid run, gaining in the points a slight bit on Dale Jr. Robbie Gordon and Rusty Wallace will be in row number 8. Wallace DNF'd in yesterday's race, blew an engine while running in the top 5. In row number 9, it'll be Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart. Stewart has had a rough performance, is definitely falling from grace in the last 3 out of 4 races, 2 DNFs, and 3 of those finishes outside the top 25. Jerry Nadeau and Ricky Rudd will be in row 10. In row number 11, it'll be Sterling Marlin and Johnny Benson. Marlin and Labonte's ongoing rivalry continues. It has gone on through most of these summer races. In row number 12, it'll be Kenny Wallace and Ward Burton.
And the Caterpillar Dodge.
And row number 13, Christian Fittipaldi and Ricky Craven. Craven actually had a surprisingly good run at Watkins Glen yesterday. Just missed out on a top 10, though. The Daytona 500 champ going to look and try to get that second win of the season here today. Brett Bodine and Kevin LePage will be in row 14. And row number 15, it will be Jeff Green and Jack Sprague. Green actually looked pretty quick in practice. He was top 10. We'll see if he can run towards the front by the end of today's race. In row 16, Michael Waltrip and rookie Jamie McMurray. McMurray still leading the Rookie of the Year standings as we are about to approach the final third of the season. Steve Park and Jeremy Mayfield will be in row 17. Mayfield had a top 10 run and a top 10 finish. Finished 8th at Watkins Glen yesterday. Mike Skinner and Casey Mears will be in row 18. Back in row number 19, we've got Kyle Petty and Kenny Schrader. In row 22, more rookies of Kevin Grubb and Greg Biffle starting on the outside. Biffle won the first Michigan race and got his first career win here earlier in the season. In row 21, it'll be Chase Montgomery and Joe Nemechek. Nemechek with a very poor qualifying performance. He qualified poorly yesterday and actually almost got a top 10 run. Track position means a lot here again at Michigan, so we'll see how we'll do. And Stanton Barrett will round out the field in this 43-car field, qualifying dead last. We'll see what he can do today. Terry Labonte will lead the field to the green, 400 miles, 200 laps around the Michigan International Speedway. The Michigan 400 is underway on NASCAR Thunder 2004. As they race into turn one, who will lead the opening lap? Ryan Newman on the outside got a great jump on the initial start. Mark Martin as well, so did Dale Jr. as Terry Labonte took off on the initial start, but by the time they got into turns 1 and 2, he couldn't get through the gears quite as quickly, and Labonte falls from first to fourth. And off of turn 4, it looks like Ryan Newman will lead the opening lap. Labonte to the inside of Dale Jr. off turn 4. Jr. trying to get to the inside of Martin as he blocks Labonte now. Labonte and Jr. drafting pretty well down the front stretch with each other as Jr. goes for second place into turns 1 and 2. Labonte slides up the track a little bit. Minor contact with Elliott Sadler in the 38. Even in practice and qualifying, Labonte seemed really quick in turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2, not so much. But he's definitely got a much faster car than what he had here earlier this season. After Newman led lap 1, Dale Jr. will be going for the lead on lap 2. At the start-finish line, Newman, though, gets it done. Huge run by Labonte to the inside of Martin. He got off turn 4 beautifully. Still trying to make the pass on Mark Martin, and he clears him off of turn 2. Jr. will clear Ryan Newman for the race lead meanwhile as well. Newman maybe going to try to cross him back over into turn 3. Labonte got off of turn 4 beautifully to the inside of Newman for second. Newman might have a little bit more drafting help. Nope. Junior pulls down in front of Terry Labonte. Labonte up to second place. Into the back bumper of Dale Jr., who's led 2 laps early on. The pole sitter trying to get back to the lead. Junior, the points leader, though, knowing those 5 bonus points he scored early on, that is huge. Labonte to the inside down the back straightaway. An aggressive move to get to the inside of Dale Jr. Jr. tried to crowd him a little bit. Labonte gets loose into 3 and 4. Jr. holds on to the lead. Labonte driving that car hard, trying to lead a lap as soon as he can, and they're side by side for the lead off of turn 4. Oni, welcome to the stream. Yes, it is Michigan. Junior by inches leads the lap at the line. Here at the fastest track in NASCAR, they are racing hard for the lead early on. Labonte slides up behind Junior again, and Jeff Gordon is coming from the back half of the top 10. He is up to 4th, looking to the inside, is on the inside of Ryan Newman for position as well. Junior goes a little high in 3 and 4. Little contact with Labonte and Junior in turns 3 and 4. And Labonte will take his first lead in the race. Qualified on the pole, took him 5 laps to get back to the lead. He'll get 5 bonus points now. After a recent slide in performance for Labonte the last couple races, he needs all the points he can get for these final 14. if he wants to still have a shot at the championship at the season's end. Bobby Labonte is a man on a mission. He's been on a hot streak when he hasn't DNF'd in the last 10 races. 3 DNFs in that stretch, but for Bobby Labonte, it seems like he's been running in the top 5 consistently throughout every race, unless that is the case. And Bobby Labonte is now up to second place off of turn 4, getting around Dale Jr. Well, no, never mind. He didn't clear him yet. They're still side by side, but Labonte will have the edge at the line at least, and should have the advantage down into turns 1 and 2 as well. Track position means a lot here at Michigan, like most of the longer racetracks we've seen over recent weeks, like Indianapolis, Pocono a couple times, even the second time now at Michigan in as many weeks. And we'll have to see how today's race will go as Labonte drifts up the track at 3 and 4, a little too high. And Bobby Labonte gaining time. Gordon looks to the inside off of turn 4 for third on Dale Jr. Kurt Busch now in the top 5 as well for the first time. The Labonte brothers won 1-2. They finished 1-2 in the first Pocono race this season. And Bobby almost got into the back of Terry off of turn 4. Labonte was sliding down as Terry, I should say, more specifically, was sliding down as Bobby was coming up. Kurt Busch looks really fast here as well, as his Roush Fenway teammate Biffle won the first race at Michigan this year. But Gordon fends him off for now. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. Again, first of 2 races, a doubleheader Sunday on the channel for NASCAR Thunder 2004. We go to Bristol later on at 4 o'clock this afternoon for our Bristol night race. First ever time we have done a NASCAR Thunder 04 doubleheader that doesn't involve the duel and the 500 because that's a little different. I have to run the races on the same day for that. As far as 2 points races back-to-back, this is the first time. This is also not counting when we would DNF very early in the race in Season 1. We have not done that in Season 2 as far as early enough to run a second race, so that's not being included either. It's amazing night and day how much of a difference this race car is versus the car Labonte had here the first time. Handling is better, therefore the speed is a little bit better. But the speed in general, again, fastest in qualifying, fastest in first practice, and he was third in happy hour. He averaged a lap of 207 miles an hour, or sorry, not averaged a lap, but hit top speed of 207 miles an hour in practice. We'll see what he can do in the race. 202 miles an hour. You're going to be seeing that a lot today. That's why this is the fastest track in NASCAR. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Nice day for that, doing double shift at work. Hey, there we go. Take it through the day, Ace, no problem. Yeah, I'm actually snowed in. We got 2 to 3 inches of snow last night. It's still snowing now. And I think total we're supposed to get between 5 to 8 inches. So I'm snowed in all day. I've got nowhere to go. We'll get these races in by the time it comes to an end. I'll be watching the Royal Rumble tonight. Kind of excited for that. I was watching the Rolex 24 today as well. Pretty much from the time I woke up in the morning, I've had it on until just before I started the stream. Most of the classes are in pretty tight races here. A lot of it's because of how many cautions there's been. There's been 10 full course yellows. They were saying that there was only 6 last year, the entire race, and in the first 18 hours, or 19 hours I think it was, because it was before the end of the 19th hour, they had that 10th caution. Full course yellow again. Jimmy Johnson might get a win. Second overall right now, him and his crew. That 10 team's going to be tough to beat, though. Wayne Taylor Racing's had their stuff right in the Rolex 24 the last handful of years, so they're going to be tough. Woke up at 3 a.m. to watch. Nice. That's dedication right there. Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of it yesterday. I was kind of upset when I went to Buffalo Wild Wings after streaming yesterday. They didn't even have the race on any of the TVs. I was really upset about that. So I was going to watch at least a couple hours, and when I got home, I pretty much went to bed. About 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish. But yeah, from about 8 o'clock this morning, pretty much been watching it. I might have to pause it here for a second. I feel a sneeze coming. Got like a... I don't know if there was like a hair or something. I don't know. I had like a tickle. I didn't want to crash out. Take a look at the top 10 here early on. Tony Stewart is charging through the field. He's already up to 10th after qualifying 26th. Stewart wanted a bounce-back performance today. He might get it. And Greg Biffle, our winner earlier this year, running last. What a change of pace that is for him. Pretty good experience. 1.8 second lead over fellow Labonte brother for Terry. New York gets hit with that tonight. Yeah, I saw it like yesterday. It was like in the Minneapolis or Minnesota, Wisconsin area. It started rolling into Northwest Ohio, Southern Michigan, middle of the night. It was weird because I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and it wasn't even that cold. It was like 31 degrees at like 8:30 at night, and we left, and it was getting a little windier, and the snow was not there yet, but you could tell the temperature was dropping just enough. And then I wake up this morning, there's a couple inches of snow on the ground. So, I mean, it happened quick. And it's supposed to snow more and more throughout the day. But good thing I don't work Sundays, and I don't work Mondays now either, but working at a Home Depot distribution I started a couple weeks ago, so my weekends are Sunday and Monday, so it can snow all at once. I don't have to drive in it. I'm happy. I didn't even know it was supposed to snow until like middle of the day yesterday. I was like, oh, well, good thing I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, I'm pulling for that 48 team. Get a victory. Penske fan, I'm kind of a Simon Pagenaud guy too when it comes to IndyCar, and it'd be cool to see him win it. He's a really, really funny dude. I mean, how could you not like Simon Pagenaud? Jeff Gordon up to second place. Dale Jarrett into the top 5. Kurt Busch fourth. Again, Tony Stewart really trying to charge through the field. Gonna have to watch him today. Labonte needs to keep this car clean, and so far, he pretty much has. He's kept it off the wall from the very initial start. We'll see as these tires get older and older what the scenarios could take place. He needs to lead as many laps as possible. It's unfortunate that the points leader, Junior, was able to get 2 laps led early on. But he has quickly fallen outside of the top 5 after leading a couple laps early in the race. I guess the quicker this race ends, the quicker I can watch the end of the Rolex 24. I gotta go out and shovel, though, when I'm done, too. Like in the middle of it. Middle of the snowstorm. Because although I don't have to work tomorrow, still live with my parents. Everybody else has to go to work tomorrow. So, gonna get on that in between our races today. Then, yeah, hopefully catch the end of that Rolex 24, and then we'll be right back here on the channel again at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Sharpie 500 at Bristol. So I've got a pretty loaded day despite being at home all day. Bad wheel bearing. I got you. Yeah, I've never had an issue like that with my car. I actually just got the front shocks changed because it was pretty squeaky. So I got that done. And I just changed, well, I didn't personally change it myself, but I got the rear axle, or not rear axle, the rear springs, shocks and struts change it as well, just to, you know, match the front, even though those weren't in need of it yet. I just got my car back yesterday. I had to drive my grandpa's minivan to work the last couple days, so that was a change of pace. I don't think anybody noticed, though. We're good. Not that I know of. I don't really care. It's just weird driving a different vehicle when I'm used to driving that one. Especially when I go on like long road trips and stuff. It was really weird when I took that rental car to Talladega last year. But I'll be going back to Talladega in the spring this year, so good old Scarlett's going to make a trip down there anyway. That means Darlington would be the only racetrack I've been to that I didn't actually drive my own car. Every other track I've been to, I've driven my car to. Oh, man, Labonte got loose in turns 1 and 2, and he slides up into the wall. Big run. Here comes Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte and company. That was a random moment going into the corner where Labonte just kind of lost control. Jarrett to the inside, 3 wide for second now. Squeezing Bobby Labonte in that middle lane. That's a pretty hard hit into the outside wall for Terry Labonte. And Jarrett makes a great move from 4th to 2nd in turns 3 and 4. Hopefully it's not too much damage. That really stinks for Labonte. He had about a 2.5 second lead. Now these guys are getting the draft off of him. The tires are getting a little bit more worn, so maybe he's not quite as fast. Still fast in turns 3 and 4. Handling's been pretty good for the most part in practice and qualifying, and pretty good in the race up until that little, well, it was more than a little mishap. It could have been way worse than what it was. Oh, Labonte gets loose again in turns 1 and 2. And Bobby Labonte will take his first lead of the race. Now Gordon looks to the inside. Tony Stewart from 26th starting spot is up to 4th, looking for 3rd on Terry Labonte. And Dale Jarrett. Wow, Terry Labonte has just gotten extremely loose all of a sudden, and Bobby might not be able to lead a lap. Gordon squeezes him off of turn 4, and Jeff Gordon instead will lead his first lap of the race. Terry Labonte all over his back bumper as they go into turn 1. It is a 3-car battle for the lead and then some. Labonte luckily didn't get loose that time, but he couldn't complete the pass either. Colton, I said your name wrong there. Sorry for that. Welcome to the stream, Colton. Wow, Labonte was really fine, and then all of a sudden this car has just gotten drastically loose in the flip of a switch. I didn't even know Monster Energy Supercross had a game. I played the MX versus ATV games growing up. Not all of them, but some of them for my PSP. Labonte on the outside in turns 1 and 2 held it pretty well. Ryan Newman to the inside of Dale Jr. Jr. back in the top 5. Ooh, Bobby Labonte got tight in turns 3 and 4. Terry kind of let his car wiggle up the racetrack a little bit. Terry to the inside of Bobby. Bobby's car's getting a little tight here over the course of the run. Or sorry, a little loose rather over the course of the run, even on the straightaways, as these tires continue to wear. Those first 20 laps, though, it was smooth sailing, not anymore. Terry gets loose off of turn 2 again. Barely keeps it off the wall, but Dale Jr. will get underneath him, trying to make a pass for the position. And Labonte's in the wall again in turns 3 and 4. Terry Labonte is struggling mightily with the handling of his race car, and he's still got about a half a run to go. This is likely going to be a 3 pit stop race today if these guys can just make it 50 laps into a run. Realistic Racing, the place name. Nice. Favorite NASCAR game is probably NASCAR Chase for the Cup '05, mainly for sentimental reasons. That was the game I played the most as a kid. Bonnie's fallen all the way back to 11th. This is definitely up there towards the top of the list, though. Tony Stewart, who was up to 4th there for a short moment. He's now about to fade outside the top 10 again. Him and Jarrett side by side for position. Into turn 3. Huge run by Labonte. 3 wide to the inside. He slides up into Jarrett. Jarrett's into Stewart. More contact. And somehow Labonte gets past all of them. I don't know how he did with that kind of a run. Now to the inside of Kurt Busch for position. Into turns 1 and 2. Labonte will pass him now for 7th. Terry trying to fight the bad handling race car in the middle of the run. And Kurt Busch clips him off of turn 2. Contact there. And Labonte hangs on to the position. Jeff Burton coming on the outside. Awkward angle into turn 3 for Terry Labonte, and he walks up the track in the wall again. Terry Labonte is struggling with this race car in the middle of the run. 30 laps complete at Michigan. He is all of a sudden more than 3.5 seconds off the lead. After leading quite a few laps after starting on the pole early on, 2.5 second lead is more than vanquished. And Terry Labonte has company very shortly from behind. A rival of Sterling Marlin, who, remember, we have to get back at once again after he took us out at Watkins Glen yesterday. Yeah, I might have to check that out, honestly. What year is the game? Is it, like, new? Or is it a little bit older? Because I honestly had no clue that there was a Supercross game. Also, is it for console too? So that's probably the only way I'd get it. Change of pace this 5 car has had with speed and handling. The speed is still there. If he can still hit his marks consistently, you can tell the speed's still there. He was passing cars, got back up to 7th again. 3.8 off the lead. It could definitely be worse, but I think Labonte's going to have to tighten this car up a little bit. I mean, he has just gotten extremely loose all of a sudden. It wasn't anywhere close to this bad handling-wise earlier in the race. Tell you what, he's got to be careful and hope that Sterling Marlin doesn't get anywhere close to him. Labonte barely keeps it off the wall in turns 3 and 4. Up the track he goes again, side by side with Ward Burton. Labonte getting the draft, though, off Robbie Gordon. He'll stay in front of Ward Burton, back to the inside of Robbie Gordon as well, and he'll get back around him before they get into turns 1 and 2, but I'm not sure Labonte's going to hold the position. This car's drifting terribly. Oh boy. Robbie Gordon just to the inside. And gets right back around him. Labonte was loose for a long time there. It's not even the analog stick either, I'll be honest. This car has just drastically gotten loose. Pretty much from the time he got majorly loose in turn 1, out of the random at lap 22, it's been dangerously loose. And again, that was like the flip of a switch. There was no warning signs. It was starting to trend in that direction. It just all of a sudden got loose. And now he walks up the track again in turns 1 and 2. Ward Burton right behind him. He is really trying to make sure that Sterling Marlin does not catch him. And if he does, you might have to just let Marlin go, because it could get bad for everybody. Ward Burton tried the outside in 3 and 4. Bonnie had a really good corner that time. It's 5.3 off the lead, though. I think you can bet that Terry Labonte's going to pit as soon as that window opens up. Again, a 3-stop race today. If we go caution-free. The second Michigan race on Season 1 went caution-free. This one could too. We've had 2 caution-free races before, one of them on a 2-mile track this season at California. I should say we had 2 last season and 2 so far this year. And we've had 4 races that have finished with just 1 caution. So we've had a lot more green flag racing here in Season 2 than what we had in Season 1. Except for when you look at races like both the Daytona races and then Watkins Glen, where they had a lot of cautions. Martinsville had 10 of them, I believe, too. Martinsville has had the most cautions in this season with 10. And outside of those 4 races, though, a lot of the other races have been lucky to see more than 2 cautions. Side drafting going on there. Bonnie's still trying to hang on to his car. Even loose in the tri-oval. He's battling hard with Robbie Gordon, but he has to know early in the race he's got to save it. Not race him too hard. I was kind of a Shane Stewart guy when I did watch it when I was younger. Big run off of turn 4. Robbie Gordon trying to block Terry Labonte. Bonnie's all the way down to the apron on the front stretch trying to make a move. Terry Labonte really backs up turns 1 and 2. It obviously didn't help him, though. Robbie Gordon really went on his way there. Mark Martin's really slid back since the start of the race. Martin started in the top 5. Started 5th, and it's all the way back to 14th. It was worse than that up until that last lap. And he made a pass on Woodburton. 5.8 seconds off the lead is still not bad for being the first quarter of this race, but these laps are flying by quick with the way this race has started 40 laps caution-free. And it might continue to go that way. We know Terry Labonte's got a good short-run car. If he can just get the handling on the longer run, I think he'll be all right, and he still could be a contender. If I remember right, I think we only had 1 or 2 cautions the first time we were at Michigan this season. There's a crossover move. Terry Labonte to the outside of Robbie Gordon. I'm not sure if this is going to work into turn 1. Well, it seems like later into this run, Labonte's car's starting to come back to him again, too. Handling-wise, at least. Speed, not so much. Another great corner there in turns 3 and 4. Bonnie got really loose off of 4 there. Stayed in the gas, trying to keep up with Robbie Gordon. Now he's almost 6 seconds off the lead. Massive run. Robbie Gordon pulling off another block. Labonte just gets underneath him, though, into turns 3 and 4. And Robbie Gordon again shuts the door in the center of the corner. Labonte gets the drive off of turn 4, back to the inside. And he will clear Robbie Gordon down the front stretch for 12. I believe the race leaders just entered into lap traffic a few laps ago for the first time today. Exactly, Tim. Elijah Liddell, welcome to the stream. Almost a quarter of the way through the Michigan 400 today at MIS. Fastest track in NASCAR. At least in this time period with the top speed. Again, top speed, not average speed. Terry Labonte in 12th. Led a lot of laps from the pole early in the race. Just doesn't have the long run speed. He's got the short run speed. And as these tires have worn out, he's really faded in this run and is now about 6 seconds off the race leader. Pit stops will be coming up for the first time very shortly. Exactly 3 hours to go. Yeah, I definitely should see the end of that race by the time this stream ends. But don't worry, we'll be back again later today. Sharpie 500 at Bristol. For our Bristol night race here on Thunder 04 as well coming up. That'll be at 4 o'clock. Just after the end of the Rolex 24, so you guys can see that as well. And then we'll be right here ready to go. Watching the live stream, listening to MC Radio, nice. Yep, double header here for Thunder 04 today. On a beautiful, snowy Sunday afternoon outside here in Northwest Ohio, where I'm at. Ooh, body of the wall again there in turns 3 and 4. .6 off the lead. He's going to pit at lap 50. So Labonte's going to just split this into 50 lap increments. He'll pit in 2 laps. Yeah, I'd be like watching one on my phone and then the race if I could simulcast anything. That's usually the way I do it. Like usually when like NASCAR's on and my Packers are playing at the same time, I'll be watching the race on TV and paying more attention to that, but on commercials instead of flipping it back and forth so I don't miss anything. I'll pay more attention to my phone then. That way I always know what the score is too. So right at lap 48, we saw our first drivers onto pit road. Labonte slides the tires again in turns 1 and 2. It's almost to the end of his run. A lot of drivers came to pit road that last lap. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. Currently playing Madden 21. Yeah, I did not get Madden 21. There was another Madden game a handful of years ago I didn't get, but I've pretty much had like every one since 06. Like, or got and played it when it was new, and then the next game came out, I traded it in and got the next one. I did that for the longest time. But with the channel, I didn't think I could really play, too much outside of the fact. So right here at lap 50, Terry Labonte's going to hit pit road. He's awesome at getting to pit road in practice. Locks up the tires quite a bit there. It'll be a 4-tire stop. And he's going to tighten that race car up a little bit. Half a round of wedge is going to be put into the race car. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel. Labonte and his crew made 2 mistakes in the 2 pit stops in practice, both on the front tire changer on the right side. So we'll have to see what this will bring, as he was almost 7 seconds off the lead in the 12th spot when he came to pit road. No mistakes there for Terry Labonte and his crew. A well-done stop. There's Michael Waltrip. Oh, Waltrip just squeezed Labonte coming out of the pit lane. Terry didn't want to go into the grass. Not sure what that was all about. Terry Labonte's trying to get up to speed. Holding off Robbie Gordon, who he was just behind for a large part of the end of that run. We saw how good Terry Labonte was on the short runs, and he's going to try to make up for it right here. He's got Sterling Marlin ahead of him. Labonte wants to get payback on Marlin. The problem is he's a lap down right now, so he doesn't need a caution until everybody cycles through pit stops. Once everybody cycles through their pit stops, if he's still behind Marlin, he might try to turn him then. Look how fast Labonte is on these fresh tires. Deep dive into turns 3 and 4. How much ground Labonte just gained that time in 3 and 4. Race leader still on the racetrack, by the way. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I did see that. He was at 72. I don't know if he hit us intentionally or not, but he definitely tried to put us in the grass there, getting up to speed. I don't usually see that kind of a race off pit road. And Marlin's at minus 68. So even if Labonte tries to get around him cleanly, it's going to be a tough pass for Terry. Big run in turns 3 and 4 again. Labonte looking to the inside. All the way on the apron. Trying to just stay away from Marlin, but he's trying to get around him at the same time. That didn't work. Race leader just came onto pit road that time, so I guess Terry Labonte's back on the lead lap again. Oh, contact up ahead. Marlin was trying to make a pass. He got tight. Went up the racetrack. Right into a lap car. I believe that's Kevin LePage. LePage. Might see our first caution of the day here. Labonte trying to get to Marlin. Marlin's just blocking the heck out of Labonte right now. Even if Terry's trying to pass him clean, he just can't get around him. Labonte's 11 seconds off the lead now. That's how much Sterling Marlin's holding him up. Sterling almost went 3 wide to the inside of 1 and 2. Labonte did not get through turns 1 and 2 very well. And here comes Rusty Wallace looking for a position on Terry Labonte. Labonte gets around Biffle. Marlin just got around Bill Elliott for 12th, by the way. Rusty Wallace still trying to get around Terry Labonte. Turns 1 and 2. Labonte maybe trying to draft off Bill Elliott. Getting a little bit of drafting help down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Labonte gains ground there. We know he's really good at this end of the racetrack. Pulls Rusty Wallace a little bit as well. Drafting Bill Elliott down the front stretch. Massive run. Labonte to the inside of Elliott into turns 1 and 2 for position. Tires chattering that time for Terry Labonte in 1 and 2. He did not get off the corner very well at all. Thought he hit his marks perfectly around the inside. Actually a lot earlier in this part of the run than what he was in the last run when he was losing some momentum and speed. And This off of turn 4. Labonte, Marlin, nose to tail into turn 1. And again, Labonte slides the tires in turns 1 and 2. And Rusty Wallace pulls right back behind him. Big run there. Labonte blocks Wallace to the inside. Michael Waltrip starting to get a run on the outside. Ward Burton trying to get around Rusty Wallace. Lap car holding up Bill Elliott, Sterling Marlin as their battle continues to go on. Lap car's Chase Montgomery, by the way. I was holding those guys up. Labonte off of turn 2. A little bit better that time, but still loses ground to the 2 cars ahead of him. That's where Labonte struggles the most. He gets into turn 1 pretty well. And it's inconsistent on whether or not he gets tight or loose. Ooh, contact with Chase Montgomery. Labonte to the inside of Bill Elliott for 13th. He's going to get on by. Trying to, at least. Oh, contact, though, with Marlin as he slid up the racetrack into turn 1. Elliott back to the inside. Bonnie almost slid up into the wall. This might be an opportunity for Labonte to make a pass on both of these guys. 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. Wow, they made it all the way through the corner. That was the best opportunity Labonte had to get around Marlin cleanly. And he made it happen. Oh, contact, though, down the front stretch with Bill Elliott. Elliott trying to charge back on the outside. That didn't quite work. Bonnie trying to stay ahead of Marlin. Still very early into this green flag run. Rusty Wallace, Sterling Marlin side by side for position. Couple Dodgers racing right there. Bonnie's a lot better in 1 and 2 when he's got more room to race by himself and not battling for position like he did right there. Rusty Wallace makes a pass on Sterling Marlin, though. Still wasn't the fastest through that corner. But he was a lot smoother than what he has been. Now into turns 3 and 4. There's a lap car coming up. 8 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Only 3 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast every day for NASCAR video games as well as other related NASCAR content. Got a special sort of predictions videos on the weekly when NASCAR comes back up. More news will break on that in the coming weeks when we get to the start of the season, as well as some, post-race analysis stuff as well. Again, Labonte drifts up the racetrack in turns 3 and 4 a little too much after getting around the lap car of Sprigg. But now Sprigg's holding up Rusty Wallace and others behind. Remember, Labonte tightened that race car up a little bit on the last run. Really good through 3 and 4 that time for Terry Labonte. It's where he's at his best. If he can just manage this gap that he's got over Rusty Wallace, he can continue to make passes going forward through the pack. Still about 11 seconds off the lead. He's been consistently, lap time-wise, right there with the race leaders. That loss of track position in that opening run after leading about 20 laps before losing the lead. Not exactly 20, just less than 20, but it's a rough guesstimate. Labonte 0.2 of a second faster than the leader that last lap. And again, we'll see. The reason why the adjustment was made was not for the short run speed, it was for the long run speed. Because he was really fast, had a 2.5 second lead until he got loose heavily into turn 1, pretty much from about lap 24 on to lap 50 for the second half of that run. His car was terribly loose and just didn't have the same speed in it. So now, making the race car tighter, might be a little bit better here. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Join this and the Rolex 24. Thanks, Ethan. Looks like it's been a pretty entertaining Rolex 24 up to this point. Turns 1 and 2. Labonte stuck beautifully that time. He is pulling away from Rusty Wallace behind him. He's got 3 lap cars right in front of him. Christian Fittipaldi, Stanton Barrett, Mike Skinner. The run down the back straightaway that Labonte got. Returns 3 and 4. Oh, Mike Skinner pulled down right in front of him. A little bit of contact. I think Labonte was very appreciative of Skinner's move there when Labonte had the run, especially when Labonte's better at that end of the racetrack. Skinner still battles him into turns 1 and 2. And Rusty Wallace kind of pulls a little bit closer to Terry Labonte. Now Skinner's still fighting to get around Labonte. He's so much slower than him. Not sure why. He's pulling him down the back straightaway, though. He's got a little bit faster straightaway speed in that Hendrick Chevrolet compared to what Mike Skinner might have with that Morgan McClure racing car. Well, without the chicane on the front stretch, they still have the chicane on the back stretch, but they've always had that. That's because these cars don't get nearly as fast as what the stock cars do. See what the interval is to the race leader this time at lap 72. 10.6. So yes, Labonte is faster than the race leader right now. This is what he needed, the long run speed. He's almost about at the point in the run where he was when he was starting to get extremely loose on the last run. That is going to be telling. If he can keep the car stable like it has been for most of the beginning of this run, I think Labonte might have made the right swing with that adjustment. Look for him to charge back through the field. He's going to want a chance to lead the most laps today. He's going to have to do it as soon as he can. As he runs down Dale Jarrett on the front stretch. 203 miles an hour into turns 1 and 2 again. Look at the run Terry Labonte had through 1 and 2 that time. That's probably as good as he's gotten through 1 and 2 all day. Definitely on the second run as he makes the move to the inside into turns 3 and 4 on Dale Jarrett, and he's got the spot. But slides all the way up the track, and he's in the wall. Well, that's not what Terry Labonte wanted. Overdrove turns 3 and 4, trying to get around Dale Jarrett. Lost 0.3 of a second to the race leader that last lap, which is unfortunate because he had a really, really solid lap going up until that point. And now he's just trying to hold Rusty Wallace behind him. Wallace trying to make a move to the inside. There's contact off of turn 2. Wow, Wallace lost a ton of time there with that contact with Labonte.
We're about 10 seconds off the leader. Hit your marks, be smooth.
Well, Labonte's going to get another chance to get around Dale Jarrett here. Hopefully he makes it a lot cleaner than what that last opportunity was. Big draft down the front stretch. 205 miles an hour into turn 1 that time. Fastest speed is 207 in practice. Not sure what it's been in the race so far. Oh boy. Slides up in line behind Jarrett. That was close. A little too close for comfort. Labonte into turns 3 and 4. Contact with Jarrett. Kind of got hooked on the wrong part of the race car there. And Dale Jarrett is not making this battle for 10th any easier for Terry Labonte right now. Labonte's got a faster car. Jarrett's just not letting him go. And Labonte's in the wall off turn 2. Jarrett crowds him again. Labonte's got a fast race car now. But he's just not able to showcase it. Labonte underneath Jarrett. Down the front stretch, all the way to the apron goes Labonte. And that's not going to work either. But Terry Labonte's trying everything he can right now to get around Dale Jarrett. And Jarrett's just not letting him go. Oh, it'd be well over 200 miles per hour. You got to figure there's no restrictor plates, you know, on the road course versus what it is on the asphalt. And they already go at or over 200. Labonte to the inside of Jarrett off of 4. Is he going to make the clean pass this time? Boy, he's really hoping. Yes, he does. Finally, Labonte gets around Jarrett. Clears him. But now he gets a little loose into turns 1 and 2, but he still holds on to the spot. Great drive by Terry Labonte, just trying to stay in front of Dale Jarrett. Jarrett almost got the wall off of turn 2. Jarrett's clinging in there. Labonte better in 3 and 4. Pulls him a little bit more. 80 laps complete, still caution-free today at Michigan. Labonte wants this run to carry out. He doesn't want to see a caution right now. The reason why is because we need to see what this car is going to be like handling-wise on the full run. How fast is it going to be on the full run with this adjustment? So he can make that decision under the second pit stop if he makes another adjustment or leaves the car the way it is. Big run on Steve Park. Turns 3 and 4. Labonte got really loose. Contact with Park. Up the racetrack and in the wall. Labonte's just trying to pass cars, whether the lap cars or not, and they are just not cutting them the slack. It's going to bring Michael Waltrip back in. Oh, contact behind with Bill Elliott and Rusty Wallace. Waltrip is a rival of Labonte, so Labonte's got to be careful when Waltrip's around him here. He's got about 4 seconds to Kurt Busch in 9th place in front of him. He's got one more lap car in front of him, and then after that, he doesn't really have another one anywhere near him. Kind of overdrove turns 3 and 4 a little bit again. Waltrip's going to gain time in 3 and 4, where Labonte's really the only one to gain as much time as he has so far today. Not wider arc that time for Terry Labonte, but Michael Waltrip again closing that gap. Labonte getting the draft off Ken Schrader, though, down the back straightaway. That's going to help Labonte out quite a bit. Labonte loose. Kind of overdriving turns 3 and 4 a little bit. Waltrip gets around him. And Labonte trying to get payback on Waltrip. Oh no! Bill Elliott comes in at full speed and just drills Terry Labonte. What was that?
The drivers didn't spend much time behind that Pontiac pace car today.
Labonte trying to take out Waltrip, and after they made contact, remember Waltrip tried to run Labonte in the grass right there. And Bill Elliott, he just came in full speed. I don't even know what he was thinking. Elliott came in full speed and just annihilated Terry Labonte.
Well, when you're out there beating and banging on guys, some feathers are bound to get ruffled. Maybe after some time to cool off, they'll be back to racing with clear heads.
That's the 3rd straight DNF. And that's another one where Labonte just, that shouldn't have happened. It doesn't make any sense. Why Terry Labonte came in there at full speed like he did and just absolutely drilled Labonte. He missed Waltrip, but he hit Labonte. Of course, that had to happen. That is unbelievable. And Elliott's at minus 50 with us now. Like it was our fault. Well, there's a randomization of the finishing order is what I was trying to say. Steve Park is going to get his 2nd career win, first of the season, and first since driving that 30 car for Richard Childress Racing. Hermie Sadler 2nd, Kevin LePage 3rd. Kenny Walls finishes 4th, Brett Bodine 5th, Jack Spriggs 6th, Christian Fittipaldi 7th, Jeremy Mayfield, the back-to-back top 10 run, finishes 8th, Mike Skinner 9th, and Ken Schrader rounds out the top 10. It's the 9th DNF of the year now for Labonte. Stewart 14th. Points leader Dale Jr. 18th, so it could have been worse there. He led 33. Labonte led 19. We had a lot of drivers DNF before Labonte did with that one and only accident in the race. Unbelievable. I believe Junior led the most laps with 33 laps led. Yep. Points leader. Leads the most laps, though. Finishes 18th. Looks like we had 30 lead changes in the race. Kevin Grubb blew an engine. Mark Martin blew an engine. Jeff Green blew an engine. And then Labonte got involved in that accident. Jamie McMurray also blew an engine a little bit later in the race. I just don't understand. Oh my gosh. That's just unbelievable how they only hit us, like, in that situation. We shouldn't have DNF'd at Watkins Glen. That Watkins Glen, that was a different circumstance. I mean, we basically had people upset with us for no reason. Like Ricky Rudd, like everybody brake checked when Rusty Wallace blew an engine in front of the field at Watkins Glen on a restart. And so when they checked up, accidentally ran in the back of Rudd, and then Rudd basically turned us right after that. Somehow everybody missed us. We had to go to the back to repair the damage because we had pretty heavy damage. I think debris came out, which brought the caution out for us to pit on us, of course, because our right front fender was pretty well damaged there. And when we went back out on the racetrack, this was later in the race after repairing the car, we didn't even have that much damage on the left side, and we barely scraped the wall in turn 6 on the inside that guardrail. Like, I mean, if you go back and watch it, in the replay that we showed after the race was over, I barely grazed it. Barely grazed it and was probably going like 80 miles an hour in the corner anyway. I mean, it wasn't like I hit it like head on and it kind of bounced me off. It was like just like a tiny scrape. Just enough for the sparks to barely fly, and it DNF'd us with less than 30 laps to go while running back through the field again. And then in this race, we made contact with Michael Waltrip on the front stretch. It slowed us down considerably, but not like too much. And Bill Elliott was probably going about 20, 30 miles an hour faster. And this, like, after Waltrip and Labonte made contact there was contact between the two of them about halfway down the straightaway. And then by the time they get into turn 1 is when Bill Elliott piled into the back of Terry Labonte. Like, full speed. Like, he just didn't brake at all. Never checked up. And that ends Labonte's day. Andrew Hollenbeck, welcome. Did I crash? I wouldn't say I technically crashed. For the second straight race, we didn't crash. First it was the game, and now with this race it was the AI, but that wasn't intentional by Bill Elliott by any means, but that's tough. Dale Jr. still got the points lead, 34 points ahead of Jeff Gordon. So pretty close to about equal when they came in. And that points lead's starting to grow a little bit more. The top 5 are still within one race of points from each other. And then you got Jeff Burton at 6th, Newman 7th, Labonte 8th, 9th was Harvick. Stewart rounds out the top 10 in points still. And Terry Labonte falls to 15, so he falls 2 more spots in points today and is now 417 points back with 13 races to go. Josefina Bravo, NASCAR, yeah, welcome. It's upsetting because we were starting to come from behind in points. We got as high as 4th in the standings when we were about 100 back. And then we just start to have this terrible luck again. And a lot of it isn't even my fault. Majority of it is not my fault. But whether it's like the game or the AI just racing stupid, like right here with Bill Elliott, just full speed. Was there a wreck? And were we green? Yes. But me and Waltrip were like 30 miles per hour slow after we made contact. And full speed, probably 3-4 seconds after it even happened, hits us. And our race is over. Who's last in points? Chase Montgomery. 43rd is Kevin Grubb. Of the guys that are running full-time, Kevin LePage is last. Because Stanton Barrett, Ashton Lewis, Kevin Grubb, David Green, Chase Montgomery, they're all running part-time. So, of the guys running full-time, Kevin LePage is last. I believe Jamie McMurray is still lead. No, Fittipaldi just took the lead. McMurray DNF'd. McMurray DNF'd today at Michigan. He blew an engine after we did. And, well, we didn't blow an engine, but yeah, Fittipaldi. I believe is leading the Rookie of the Year vote. Yeah. So Fittipaldi, the new leader. Who would have thought? The Rookie of the Year standings. NASCAR races are... they do from time to time when they're testing like a new package and stuff, but that's about it. New package or a new car. I guarantee they'll have a winter testing next year with like at least 20 cars, probably at Daytona and other racetracks. When the next gen car comes out next year, I'm sure of it. That's a little bit of an exaggeration there, bro. The Coke 600 was not 7 hours in 2020. Mears is in the battle. Let me see. Where was Casey at? Mears is in the battle. I mean, it's kind of tight. Biffle's still in there. McMurray, Biffle, Mears, and Sprague are the full-time rookies, and then the part-time guys aren't going to catch them. Not even running the full season. But yeah, to go back on that, the Coke 600 was not 7 hours. Let me Google that real quick. We're going to get to the end of the stream, trust me. Also, tune in later today. At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be running Bristol. I planned on doing a doubleheader anyway today. Obviously, with DNFing there in the first half of the race, it looked like we were going to anyway. But we had it as planned. We're going to be running the Sharpie 500 at Bristol on Thunder 04 today. Yeah, let me see here. Coke 600 2020 Racing reference. There we go. All right. 8 cautions, 6 for incident. Time of race was 4 hours and 29 minutes. It was not 7 hours. Was there a rain delay? Or a red flag at all? I can't remember. Because usually it doesn't take that long. Let me see. Yeah, there was a rain delay, so that's why the race was as long as it was. There was a rain delay at lap 49. So realistically, the race, it doesn't show how long the rain delay was on here. but there was a rain delay. So it was 4.5 hours, but there was a rain delay. So, I mean, it was less than 4 hours. By the time they would have dried the track and everything, it was probably about 3.5 hours at least. Or, I mean, at maximum 3.5 hours. 6 hours and 27 minutes. No, it's... What are you getting your facts from? Yeah, it was a red flag. Yeah, there was a rain delay. I was going to say, because I thought it did get over somewhat late last year for when it started. Like right about 5, but... Like the live stream, like the coverage of it on YouTube is probably that long, but that's because they have like the telecast going on during the 2 hour whatever rain delay it was on. So yeah, it was that. What race last year didn't have a rain delay? Oh, Texas. Yeah, Texas was... It started on Sunday and finished on Wednesday. Yeah, it was more than a day and a half. It was like 2.5 days. Almost like 3 days to finish the race. But yeah, it was Texas at the end of the season. All right, that is going to do it here for this one. Again, thanks everybody for watching. Unfortunate DNF. You can blame Bill Elliott for just, you know... I don't even know what to call it. Arca breaking, I guess, in turns 1 and 2. But that's going to do it. We do these full race live streams with the Realistic Broadcast every day. So, again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We will be running Bristol at 4 p.m. today. Planned on it anyway, of doing a doubleheader out of the random today. But, of course, you know, with us DNFing 80 laps into this Michigan race as well, that's going to add on to the reason why. So, thanks, Bill Elliott, for probably putting the nail in the coffin in our championship hopes. It's not completely over yet, but we are, how many points back were we again? We're 15th. We're 417 points back. But we still have 13 races to go. We're going to need some help. And we'll see. Dale Jr. leads the points. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And I will see you guys at 4 o'clock on the channel. So be ready for the Bristol night race. And have a good rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the Rolex 24.